What's up, GTI? We're back with a new episode. First, we have an announcement from GTI Friends.
GTI Friends is hosting another event next Monday about summer holidays around the world. So make sure you stop by at 4:30 to play some games and make some new friends.
Speaking of summer holidays, our first video is Culture Corner.
With summer well on its way, people are starting to think about summer holidays. One summer holiday celebrated in the United States is called Independence Day. But sometimes people call it the 4th of July because it is celebrated on July 4th. The 4th of July, or Independence Day, is a holiday celebrating the day that the United States became a free, independent country. There are many ways that people celebrate Independence Day in the United States. Because it's a summer holiday, many of these traditional activities happen outdoors. People enjoy picnics or barbecues with friends and family. Sometimes there are parades. Often people will watch fireworks displays. In some cities, there are official fireworks displays that everyone can enjoy together. In other places, people use their own fireworks to have small personal displays in their backyards. Independence Day is an exciting summer holiday to spend time with friends, family, and enjoy the summer weather. Do you know of any summer holidays celebrated in Japan? What traditional activities do you enjoy? No matter what holiday you look forward to this summer, I hope you enjoy celebrating with the people you love.
So, Rachel, how's the semester going?
Well, actually, I have about 5 piles of things to grade, so not great.
Wow, sounds like you need to get your act together.
Okay, so the phrase of the week this week is get your act together. Basically, we use this phrase when someone is very disorganized or putting in very little effort. And then, if they get their act together, they start to become more organized and put in more effort, try a little harder, especially to achieve a task or a goal. We can use this with any possessive pronoun, get your act together, get his act together, get my act together, and we can make it past tense. So, you might hear something like, he hasn't turned in any homework this semester. He needs to get his act together if he's going to pass this class. Clearly, if he hasn't done any homework, he's probably not very organized or putting in much effort, so he needs to get his act together. Or also, I wasted 2 months of winter break sitting on my sofa, but then I got my act together and fully prepared for the semester. Clearly, if you're sitting on your sofa for 2 months, you're not putting in a lot of effort, you're not doing your best. So, the next time you or someone you know just isn't doing the best that they could, you could say, hey, get your act together. See you next time on Phrase of the Week.
Hey, Zach, what are you reading there?
It's called East of Eden. It's an amazing book, but it has a lot of hard vocabularies.
Do you mean vocabulary?
Hello everyone, I hope you're staying nice and cool as this weather heats up. Today we'll be talking about what are called count and non-count nouns. Now you might remember that a noun is a word that we use for people, places, and things, including ideas. So, what we mean by a count noun is a word for something that can be counted. For example, students, parks, or smartphones are all things that can be counted. Now, what we mean by a non-count noun are words for things that cannot be counted. For example, water, oil, snow, or happiness are all things that cannot be counted. Let's take a minute to go over count nouns. Now, there are two different kinds of nouns. First, we have regular nouns. To make a regular noun plural, all we have to do is add an S, or sometimes an ES, to the end of the word. For example, the word book. All we need to do to make book plural is add an S to it, giving us books. Here's another example. Take the word box. All we have to do to make box plural is add an ES, giving us boxes. The other kind of noun is known as an irregular noun. Now, I like to think of irregular nouns as having two types. The first type, we change the word to its plural form in a way that is different from adding an S or an ES. For example, if we take the word mouse, we would make it plural by changing it to mice. Another example would be the word ox. We make ox plural by changing it to oxen. Now, unfortunately, you just kind of have to memorize these ones. Now, the other type of irregular noun is a little bit easier. They just never change. For example, let's look at the word fish. You could say, I caught a fish, or you could say, I caught 10 fish. The word fish doesn't change in either sentence. Another example of this would be the word sheep. You could say, the farmer has 1 sheep, or the farmer has 30 sheep. The word sheep does not change. Okay, now let's talk about non-count nouns. You're probably familiar with words like water, coffee, and snow not being countable. For example, we don't say things like, there are many waters, or there are so many snows. Instead, you would say, there is a lot of water, or there is a lot of snow. Well, the same thing is true for ideas and feelings as well. For example, love, happiness, fear, excitement, bravery, and so on are not things that we can count. Now, there are some words that are non-count nouns that learners of English often confuse for count nouns. For example, the words vocabulary, information, music, advice, and traffic are all non-count nouns. Yet, sometimes you'll hear students say or write things like, I studied many vocabularies for the test, or I found many informations on the internet. Let's take a look at the word vocabulary and discuss why it's a non-count noun. You see, vocabulary is a category or group. In fact, if you use the Cambridge Learner's Dictionary, one of the definitions you get for vocabulary is a list of words and their meanings. So while you can say, I studied many words for the test, because word is a count noun, it would be incorrect to say, I studied many vocabularies. However, if you use the phrase a lot of, which we use to show an amount for both count and non-count nouns, then you can say, I studied a lot of vocabulary for the test, and this would be correct. If we go back to the internet example, you can also say, I found a lot of information on the internet. Let's take a look at one last example. If you were driving to work or school, and it was very busy, how might you use the word traffic? Well, by now, we should know that it wouldn't be correct to say, there are many traffics. But we could say, there is a lot of traffic. Now, if you didn't want to use the word traffic at all, you could also just say, there are a lot of cars. Remember, when you aren't sure, sometimes it's best to just keep things simple. I hope this video helped, and remember to keep in mind whether the nouns you're using are count or non-count nouns. I'll see you next time on Andrew Intervenes.
Well, that's all we have time for this week.
And don't forget to check out the GTI Friends event next Monday.
See you next time. Bye.